Hello everyone. So this is a quick snapshot of my elementalist setup that I've been using for my warrior and any of my other melee classes that have access to Raza can turn him into an elementalist as well. This is a very simple premise. I wanted to make a team build that can operate in both any normal mode content and absolutely destroy it, while also allowing myself to go into some hard mode areas and finish them. I have completed a couple of segments of Doa. I have done City and Vale with this team build. And of course I'm currently working on finishing off my Protector of Cantha and all of my Legendary Guardians as well. So that'll be something in the future. I've done pretty much all the hard mode dungeons as well with this team comp, and it's very effective. Works even better with a concept if you would choose to use one. So the idea for the build was I didn't want to have to run a Signet of Spirits writ because I don't like waiting for the spirits to come off cooldown and wait for the writ to cast it and get value in longer fights. I also got sick and tired of seeing mesmers all through my party bar, and I decided to see some EPs and some ERTs because it's a funny little acronym. So I said to myself, what are the good elites? Well, double cast elites on a melee character seemed like a fun way to go. So we have Double Dragon, Mirror of Ice, Gust, and Stone Sheath. So each of these, the AI will prioritize casting on a melee target that is in front of an enemy. So as I'm hitting this enemy, you'll see that they prioritized casting some of these, but pretty soon they cast all of the double cast enchantments within a couple seconds in combat. And I get to have all the glory of being set on fire, being given increased movement speed, and being given extra armor and weakening enemies around me. So I get to be the main character, is the idea for this build. So the elementalists also have a nice solid bit of overlap. The fire elementalist carries 2 sources of burning, 1 source of energy management, and 1 source of healing for the group. So if my fire elementalist Acolyte Sasuke is overcast, Phoenix has an additional property which allows it to heal allies within the blast radius. See? Plus 80. So very, very nice, very, very useful. Comes in clutch quite a lot. He also carries Fallback and Never Surrender at 10 command to give plus 4 health regen, helping make up for the lack of shutdown from mesmers. Vec carries Mirror of Ice, which when cast on an ally, which is the only hex in the game that can be cast on an ally, snares enemies nearby in a nearby, not adjacent, which is very, very nice, and it applies both on Vec and on me, which allows for double procs, which is very, very handy, and I'll show you what this looks like with Raza, with Mysterious Entity, because this is my favorite version of the builds that are all double cast. So you'll see here how double cast functions. Raza is over here, and I'm over here. Oh, Raza is getting stuck. That's a great YouTube video. Come on, Raza. Come on. Come on, buddy. Can you play ball, please? Cool. That'll do. So Raza is going to cast Stone Sheath on me, and it's going to give me a pretty significant buff along with himself. It's going to hit all of these enemies. And it's going to hit all of these enemies, and it's going to apply Weaken. Give both the Earth Elementalist and his target, which won't always be you. He could also cast it on the BIP or on the ST if they're getting focused by lots of melee mobs. And it's going to deal 70 Earth damage and give plus 30 armor and immunity to critical hits. This is extremely powerful for defensive reasons and lasts 24 seconds due to the enchanting mods being ran on all the heroes. So Gust will last for 13 seconds. And Double Dragon will last for 10. So Double Dragon is whenever I use an attack on an enemy, it also sets them on fire. Pretty cool. Good fun. So each of the heroes' builds is designed to complement each other as well. Vec has Icy Prism to allow the Border Rally to gain Overcast to use Swirling Aura. This will give the entire party 1 extra enchantment, preventing enchantment removals from hitting the double casts, and giving health regen to the entire party. Also, 50% chance to block projectiles is very, very nice. The air elementalist provides some combinations with this, with chilling winds. Target foe and all adjacent foes are struck for cold damage, but it applies a hex, which doubles the durations of water magic hexes applied. So if chilling winds hits, the slow from Mirror of Ice will last for 12 seconds, not 6 seconds. Very, very powerful synergy. And of course, he also carries Tainai's Wind. Target foe takes cold damage, and all adjacent enemies, of course. Burning foes struck take an additional 80 damage, so 3 times as much, and are interrupted. And then, of course, probably my favourite hero in the entire team composition is the Earth Elementalist. I love Stone Sheath. He also carries Churning Earth for hard mode shutdown, and of course, who doesn't love to run into combat and have your allies twist the earth around you? It does a lot of damage if it lasts the full duration as well. He has Ward of Stability, and he has Ward against melee, so very powerful abilities. Ward against melee has a decent radius. This is how big it is. This complements with the block versus projectiles from Swirling Aura, and the block versus everything from Displacement. This helps. These two abilities here help to keep the ST defensive spirits alive longer, because again, you don't have shutdown from Mesmers. He also carries Tainai's Crystals, which is a very unique ability. If the enemy has a water magic hex, the spell strikes target and nearby foes. Alright, so it now hits nearby instead of just the mob. And it applies it's a second source of cracked armor. And again, this team does physical or elemental damage, so cracked armor is very powerful, so having a second source is very nice. And of course, water stability is just amazing. I will not hear otherwise. You can, of course, sub this out for a different ability, but I love having a source of anti-knockdown on my heroes. We, as players, can run anti-knockdowns, but outside of Balanced Stance, most heroes won't have access to it. There are two semi-unique builds, I guess. Running Strength and Honor on an ST Rit is not unheard of, but it does happen. You can run, instead of Shaman's Insignias, you can run some Radiant Insignias to boost the BiP's energy a little bit, to give them access to BiPs earlier. Or you can just do what I do, and you can just micro BiPs on the Rit a little bit more often. But I just have a little hotkey, so it doesn't matter. The build that I like second most in this team comp is actually my Ritualist. So as I said, I didn't want to run Signet of Spirits. It was upsetting me seeing the spirits get summoned and then just run away, and we'd go through 3 or 4 more groups before he'd even cast it again. And the team comp lacked hex removal, so Expel Hexes was my final decision. And again, this comes into the premise of keeping the party as clean as possible. I tried Empathic Removal, but I already have 2 sources of condition control, so I don't need any more. So I thought, okay, well, I'll run Expel Hexes. The hero was running into some energy issues, because this costs 5 energy and is every 8 seconds. SOS is free. So I put Power Drain just for some energy. You don't need Power Drain. You can run Mantra of Resolve, you can do whatever you want with this build. And then, of course, Spirit Siphon. You can, of course, just run Signet of Spirits, but again, I wanted to design a team comp without it. For the player build, there's a couple of things I would recommend. For Warrior, which is the main character I've designed this for, I prefer the Warrior's Endurance Axe build. So when you run into combat, you can, of course, cast Cyclone Axe, and you get lots of value from the wonderful Splinter weapon. So you get a lot of value from that. And you'll see here that the heroes start casting to support as well. But that's it. It's a pretty simple premise, pretty nice team build. I'll go over the equipment a bit more once I'm in town and the heroes aren't running around. So in town, you'll see that Livia has a 20% enchanting mods. The only reason I have this is because sometimes Livia will not have her Protective was Cowleye bundle, and she will then cast BiP. In this case, BiP lasts 12 seconds and grants 24 energy instead of 20 energy. It's pretty good. I like it. All of the Elementalist heroes run a Adept Balthazar's Staff of Enchanting in their chosen attribute with an aptitude, not attitude, inscription. This is because they run both a Doublecast enchantment and, of course, an elemental attunement. The only exemption to this could be the Water Elementalist. You could run a 40-40 set. However, Swirling Aura is an enchantment, and adding 1 extra second to this gives every single person in the party an additional second of +6 health regen, so it's an extra 12 health for everybody, and an additional second of blocking. So I prefer this anyway, and the difference between this and a 40-40 is not much. Of course, again, Earth Staff. I think my Writ just has random channeling stuff that I found. I think this is what Xandra has. It doesn't matter that much. And Xandra has a +60 health staff with energy +5. Again, as I've said before, I think running a +20 energy with +30 health or running Radiant Insignias can both also work for this character, because it allows, when the energy drops below 25, it will have a BiP cast on it, but I've not noticed much of a difference between the two, and I just prefer seeing my ST have 451 health. But that's it. If you've got any questions, guys, please let me know. I'm happy to help out. And that's it.